your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2. To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press.
Your show is scheduled to start in 18 seconds. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
This is your announcer Chuck Landington, welcoming you to the Injection Livecast. Everyone is so worked up about this from Saturday Night Live for saying racist and homophobic slurs on the podcast. But I loud on being the voice of Alexa because Jeff Bezos heard what they made me say about Dave Mustaine in the stupid intros to this show. Bunch of cowards. Anyway, here is the Metal Injection Livecast.
What did we make you say about Dave Mustaine, Chuck? We need you to elaborate.
And also, I dispute that because regardless of if you say something negative about Dave Mustaine, that's usually a positive in any job interview.
Also a great point.
Jeff Bezos, huge Megadeth fan. You didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know either. Wow, that's good to know.
Is it?
Yes, we can dismiss them both entirely by association now. We knew each of them was shitty independently, but now we know that they're shitty together.
Welcome to the Metal Injection Livecast. It's Rob here with Noah. She's
Rob.
Here. Sid.
Noah.
And Darren.
Noah.
Oh. Supposed to say Sid. That's the pattern.
Noah.
And we're here every week, Tuesdays, around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can be a part of the show. You can call 213-WIDE-NUT. It's 213-943-3688. You can send us an email at any point during the week, hatemail@metalinjection.net. And, also record a voice memo, send it that way. Record something with the SpeakPipe widget. We have a call.
What?
Somebody has already dialed 213-WIDE-NUT. It's 213-943-3688. We have area code 865 on the air on the Metal Injection Livecast. 865, what's up?
Hey, Rob, it's Jamie Josta.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
How's it going, Jamie Josta?
Welcome.
Hey, I heard how you're making all this money lately and how you're super successful. I was wondering if you could help a brother out, man.
Sure, what do you need?
I got a lot of money.
How much
Is it
do
for
you
anything
need?
in particular?
No one gives a shit about Hate Breed anymore. Toll's taking all the fucking album charts. No one gives a fuck.
Well, I think you're doing great, Jamie. You have your own podcast. You're making money that way. You have your
It's not like
streetwear line.
it's not near as good as your podcast.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that.
Can I give you a suggestion, Jamie, on how you could possibly find a source of revenue? Just work with me here. Bob Backlund impersonation contest.
Wow.
You know, Mr.
Who's
Bob
that?
Backlund. He's a wrestler. Google it. You'll see the resemblance.
In voice, maybe. Jamie.
No,
Oh,
they're
let me suck
dead
his cock
ringers.
for money. I'll suck his cock for money.
Whoa, Jamie, like, where did all your money go?
I like that that's what you're worried about, the money. Like, he's like, just dropped a bombshell that he's willing to prostitute himself.
I don't know that that's a bombshell. I sort of expected that from him. How do you think he got on all those tours back in the 90s?
Oh.
You know, by the way, you're
I
not...
only have 3 STDs on record. Only 3 STDs, but I'll still...
It's weird, Jamie. You're from Connecticut. You sound like you have a southern accent.
Sound like Mr. McVicker.
Now, you say the STDs are on record. Is it colored vinyl? I know the hardcore kids love the colored vinyl.
Also, Jamie, are you on PrEP? Because
No one rides
that suppresses one of the STDs, so you become undetectable.
Look at their record sales. They've been undetectable, Rob.
They're trying to be detectable.
All kidding aside, Hatebreed is one
Yeah,
of the more popular
Yeah.
They still
metal
put
bands. They
music
do
out?
great.
Don't kiss his
They
ass
haven't
just
put an
'cause I'm
album out in a
phone.
while, but he's doing fine. He just announced he's about to put out a solo record with a bunch of artists.
Well, then it's not solo, is it?
Rob,
well,
go
like
with the
guest
bit. will you?
spots. Guest spots. What's that?
Go with the bit, will you?
Is it like hip hop? Is it going to be like Ready to Die?
Going completely ska.
Yeah, what are you asking me? We have Jamie Josta on the line, right?
Jamie Joska.
Episode title.
Exactly.
So, Jamie,
Exactly.
I just want to point out, and I don't mean to do call-out culture here, but you just, you misgendered this room. There's a woman in this room, and you offered to suck all of our cocks, but there's a woman sitting here, too. You didn't offer to suck her cunt.
I've already had Noah, thanks.
What? Revelation.
Hellfest.
We go way back.
Way back.
Way back. How do you think I got those STDs?
Not had an STD. That was not for me, Jamie.
Breaking news. Jamie Josta claims to have gotten an STD from Noah Avior. Is it true? Tune in and find out.
It's not.
There you go. You have it.
So here are
Wait. Breaking news. Noah Avior disputes claim of STD acquired from Jamie Josta.
Now, Jamie, you announced the guest musicians on your solo ska record. although we've just learned it's a ska record. Previously, it's been reported that it was a metal record. So here are some of the guests.
Mattis Yahoo.
And some friends of the show.
The
Mighty,
bassist
Mighty
from
Boss
Skank and
Tones.
Pickle. He's available.
It's all the Temple All-Stars.
Yeah.
Matt Heafy from Trivium. He's been on the show. Kirk Weinstein. Weinstein from
Cry.
Nice Jewish boy.
Jesse Leach from Killswitch Engage.
Nice Jewish boy.
Friend of Metal Injection. Not sure if he's been on the. Howard Jones from Killswitch Killswitch
Oh.
Engage.
He's been on the show, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Billy from Biohazard and Power
Oh.
Flow and
Has
Billy
been on.
Bio.
Definitely been on the
Friend
show.
of
So
the
is he
show.
only taking
Recently.
people that were on our podcast?
Frankie
hell,
Palmieri
Jamie?
from Immure.
Another
Oh yeah,
one.
another one's been on our
Well,
podcast.
everyone's just been on our podcast. It's
And
hard
then
to.
Zoli Teglas from Ignite. The only
Oh,
one.
wow, really? He's a singer. What is he going to do, backing vocals?
Maybe they do a.
He's
A
not a bad
duet?
singer. He's a much better singer than Jamie Josta,
Maybe they
I'll
do
tell
a
you that.
duet. It's a love song.
Jamie Josta.
Jamie, do you have emphysema? What is that heavy breathing that I hear on the other end of the line?
He's practicing his sucking.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
saying no.
We're getting too far with this Jamie Josta talk.
Aw.
You're actually promoting the album. No, I didn't want you to do that.
Are you the same guy who did Stone Cold Steve Austin low those many years ago on our show here?
Jesus, I wish that was gold. No, it's Seabass from Tennessee.
I want you to play some damn Pantera.
You got to find that in next.
I have it. I can send it to you right now.
Wait, it's T-Boz from Indiana.
Seabass.
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 Sebastian from Tennessee.
Or T-Boz from Indiana, either one.
When did you stop working with the R&B group TLC?
When Left Eye died, I guess.
Oh, well, didn't they put out an album after that?
Yeah,
They
it was
recently got
TL.
back together. They had like a VH1 reality show about doing one more album or something like that.
And
Is that
did
true?
they actually
Well,
do
after
it?
they kicked me out of TLC, that's when I started Hatebreed. So.
TC. What was it called? TC?
You win some, you lose
No,
some.
I think it was TLC. I think they had some rap tracks from Lisa Left Eye
Oh,
Low.
they just got some lady named Linda to fill in. She's like in the accounting department of the record label.
I believe it.
T-Boz, Linda, Chili. It worked. It worked.
Anything else, Jamie? I mean, T-Boz?
Yeah, I got a question, I guess.
Sure.
What would every one of y'all's last meal be if you had to pick one more meal? You can combine things like sushi and steak or whatever
I would
you
say
want to
an
do, but
all-you-can-eat
your
meal
last
at the
meal.
Bellagio so that it would never end. Ha ha!
Beat the system, Rob.
Wow,
Doesn't count.
that's a good one. Mine would probably have to be pizza and bagels, and candied bacon.
All right. Well, there would have to be some like Parmesan garlic fries. Gonna start with that. Gonna have steak there, candied bacon.
My candy bacon, though, right?
Yeah. Then like a bunch of shrimp. Maybe a little bit of broccoli, just to like have a veggie.
I would eat babka.
No!
No, dessert, Rob. Come on.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, and I would need a dessert too. Maybe like a good soft serve.
How do you make the candied bacon? Is that just you just cook it regular and then put it in brown sugar?
Nope.
Something like that?
There's a little more to it.
No.
Skittles.
You can't give away his recipe.
Well,
Crush up
there's,
nerds.
there's
Well-
an art to it.
We'll put it on
Crush
the.
up
It's
nerds.
also it's cayenne pepper and
I believe it is my specialty.
oh, excuse me, and brown sugar.
Should put it on the
No, it's not.
Patreon.
It's an
There's
old
no brown
Jewish,
sugar.
Jewish secret.
What do you do? What do you do?
I will share it on the Patreon. As
Oh,
Darren suggested.
there we go.
And
You should
then
make a
we'll
make
share
a
it
little
on the
video.
Facebook.
Yeah, we'll do a video. of
Because
you
there are a
making it.
couple of tricks to making it perfect.
Okay.
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 I,
So
for me-
you'll find out soon enough.
All right. I mean, if he's on the Patreon, otherwise he
Yeah,
won't
but
find out at all.
but then we post it on Facebook anyway. So
I suppose. Spoiler alert.
What? It's an early access on Patreon. But Sid, what would your last meal?
I think I would just go to Roll and Roaster and just open a
Oh.
tab and just eat everything.
That's
Because
good.
Darren's comment about the dessert, I was gonna say hometown barbecue, but they don't really have desserts that I like,
Yeah, they're
like banana pudding or whatever. I'm not
That's
really a
all right.
fan. But Roll and Roaster has, I believe, cheesecake. Do they have? They have some kind of cake option, and they have soft serve.
This is your
Right?
last
I
meal,
don't
so
think they
your
have the
dessert
soft
can
serve
come
anymore.
from a different.
No, I want to keep it as contained and limited as possible.
Even
I don't
in
wanna
your
get too
last
creative.
meal, you're too lazy to go to separate restaurants. It's amazing.
That's two different meals.
What about like there's a Carvel ice cream shop like a 5-minute drive from the Roll and Roaster?
That's two meals. If you're going to a different location, that's cheating the system. I'm an honest person.
Jamie, I need
No,
to,
the meals come to you.
I need to ask you. I want to answer your question, but I need more
Need
information.
clarification.
Is this the last meal in the sense that I'm terminally ill, or am I being executed? What is the scenario?
I took it
Yeah,
to be like
execution.
death row. Yeah,
Me too. What was that?
I think you said.
Yeah, execution style.
Execute. What did I do in order to warrant being executed?
You tell me.
Well, I need this to give you my.
It's gotta be murder.
I have to give you an accurate answer. Well, who did I kill then?
You didn't donate to Jamie Josta's podcast.
Oh, that's capital punishment for that now, is it?
it's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
All right.
The future's getting scared.
So if I
Yeah.
know that, and how am I being executed? Is it going to be lethal injection, something peaceful, or like 70,000 volts, or what?
No, you're going to eat the meal, and then Jamie Josta's going to cut your belly open, and the meal's going to run back out your belly.
See, now you're not being serious. I'm trying to take your question seriously.
You're
and
making a farce of this whole thing, sir.
Yes, please. How dare you?
I'm already not in character anymore. You're trying to force it now. It just feels forced.
Come on, Jamie. Come on, Jamie.
So critical.
By the way,
Come on, Patty.
get that breath thing worked out. Seriously, it sounds dangerous. Sounds bad. I'm not being funny. Like I'm worried about you.
I'm just relaxing. I'm really relaxed right
Oh
now.
no!
Oh,
Put it
that's
away.
what's going on.
Put it away.
What kind of relaxing are we
And
talking
let the-
about here?
I mean, hey, that's what happens. You just relax and you listen to the Metal Injection Livecast, just like the shirt says.
That's it, baby.
Well,
All right, well.
Inappropriate.
Wait, so did Darren answer?
I was trying to give a very detailed and good answer, and he kind
my
of shit on me
apologies.
about it. But no, I would say
Yeah, it's time to hang up on this fuck.
yeah, please. A fuku chicken
Yeah.
sandwich,
Ooh, okay.
some sort of steak option, and sides would be.
Well, so what kind of steak? Let's get a little specific. Would it be a ribeye?
Well, because I'm having the fuku, that would be sort of an appetizer, so I'm going to just go with a 12-ounce strip, Montreal rub, and maybe some poutine.
Oh, very Canadian. with
Keep
this
the
one.
Oh, there was no
Montreal theme.
cheese situation in my fight.
And macaroni and cheese, but shell pasta.
Yes,
shells.
yes.
Not
Yeah.
those
Oh,
nasty
yeah.
elbows.
Yep.
Not a fan of the elbows.
I went to a place this weekend and they had the shells with the
Where?
macaroni and cheese. Sweet Chick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
They have
That's a definite mark of quality mac and cheese.
You know, I ate it. Did you like it? I didn't like
It's
it.
my
at City
second
Field.
time. It's good.
I had it at City Field.
It's
maybe
good. I think it's a
No,
little.
The ballpark version is always.
Oh yeah, I
a
would.
little less.
I wouldn't rate it based on the ball.
And what did you have there?
Got a chicken sandwich.
Okay.
Pretty sure. It was a
I'd say
while ago.
it's
Brunch
good.
is
Good,
top
not
notch.
great. Above average. Like I mean, judging on the New York meter in terms of like,
My
everything is
wife,
great.
who is from Texas,
My wife.
who is a major biscuits and gravy enthusiast, got the biscuits and gravy there this weekend, said it's the best biscuits and gravy she's had in her life.
That's
Whoa.
Not just in New York, but New York, Texas, anywhere.
Ugh.
It's the best biscuits
Sweet
and
Chick?
gravy. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
But I had yesterday from a delicatessen. I had macaroni salad made
Okay.
with shells that I've never seen before. Isn't that odd?
and just like the rest, like normal, like
Yeah.
like mayo.
but it was.
little celery
I
chopped
wouldn't
up.
say I mean, yeah, it was the basic ingredients. It was elevated. It was
Yeah.
very, very good.
Shells is always better than elbows.
Agreed.
It's just classier. I like it.
Well, thank you, Jamie.
Speaking of classy, Cult of Luna, a very classy band, are putting out a new album this month, A Dawn to Fear. Now, of course, their last album, Cult of Luna with Julie Christmas, was one of my favorite albums of the year that it came out. This is their first album under their sole name, just Cult of Luna, since 2013's Vertical 1 and 2. A record comprised of 8 tracks running 79 minutes. A Dawn to Fear embodies everything the band's faithful have come to expect from them while covering new ground as well. From what I've heard of the record, it sounds really good, and Cult of Luna never disappoints. You can purchase your copy right now at metalblade.com/Cult of Luna. I like Cult of Luna a lot. I'm sure this album will make my year-end list as well.
And who's Luna?
Luna Vachon?
Yeah,
Probably.
the band is just a giant tribute to Luna Vachon, the late
What?
great Luna Vachon,
Aw.
professional wrestler.
Is she dead?
She is,
I wasn't aware of
unfortunately.
that.
She, I believe, she overdosed on
Really?
OxyContin. Ooh, very bummer. But Cult of Luna is alive, and their new album.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were out of the read. I didn't.
No, we are. I'm just making a joke. We don't have to include that. When we send the air check.
Oh, I'm gonna send everything, even this part.
Send them the whole hour and a half show.
Yes, the rest of the show.
Let them fucking
We'll just keep
find it.
bringing Cult of Luna.
Make the file such a burden to download that they don't even bother. Just like, oh, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
Sit here all day long waiting for this.
1 minute and 1 hour and 37 minutes.
Why is this a 3 terabyte air check?
I guess we have to pay them 10 times what we promised. This is a pretty long read they did for us.
By the way, just a side note, I dropped an image of Jamie Josta in the livecast
Oh, no.
text to see if you think he doesn't look like Bob Backlund. Come on now. Come on now.
Wait, can you send a picture of Bob Backlund also?
Yes, I'll get on that. But we can put this in the episode description so people know what we're talking about. Each of these.
We
guys.
could have a survey on the social media this week to see if people agree.
So Rob, the Bland.
Yes.
You want to cover that?
Oh, we talked about right. So we were discussing Shane Gillis. So
Gillis.
Gillis.
It's Gillis. I think.
Oh, is it?
Gillis. Definitely
Okay,
Gillis.
I don't know. So
I'm
SNL
just
announced
thinking about fish.
SNL announced 3 new hires.
Well,
for
can I
their
just ask,
cast.
before last week when they announced this guy as one of the new hires, had any of us ever heard of this guy?
I had
before?
not.
I
No.
never heard of
have.
him.
Okay, so 1 out of 4.
Yeah, he was one of the shows he was on was a friend of the show Zach Amico's podcast.
Okay.
So they're friends.
Okay. And is that how you had heard of him, through those folks?
No, I heard about him through the talk show The Bonfire, which is also on Comedy Central Radio.
Oh yeah, well he's with the whole Legion of Skanks
Right.
clique.
And he had this web series in like a mechanic shop that I watched, and it was pretty funny.
Okay. What was he played a mechanic?
Wait, you saw it in a mechanic shop, like while waiting
No,
for
no,
your car to be fixed?
No. It's a web series that is set in a mechanic shop,
Oh, okay.
and it was pretty funny.
Okay.
And
But I
did you
didn't-
watch it in a mechanic shop by any chance?
Just
I did not.
for the aura.
I watched it near a mechanic shop because I live near a mechanic
Okay,
shop.
fair.
So
Okay.
So one of the actors, Bowen Yang, who was actually a writer on the show, is the first East Asian American.
Isn't it the
hired on
first
the show.
any kind of
Was
Asian?
there a South
No,
Asian?
because what's her name? The Iranian
Oh,
girl.
Ellen Cleghorn.
Oh,
Ellen Cleghorn. You're talking about.
No,
No?
but
Nassim Pedrad?
Nassim Pedrad, yeah.
Joe
she's Asian.
Piscopo.
So, but he, and this guy, then it came out. Another comedian posted something on Twitter that on Shane Gillis's own podcast a year ago.
Yeah.
There's just this audio clip of him saying
it's a
how-
video clip.
A video clip, sorry, about how he just can't stand Asian people and he can't stand hearing Asian people speak their native language in public.
Hilarious.
I didn't see that part. I saw the part where he's talking about Chinatown and how Chinatown came to be, and that's where he uses the C word. Did he also
there's
use
so
it?
much.
Oh, okay.
There's so much. And then yes, he uses the C word to describe a people of Chinese descent.
Why do you think he is so prolific in making anti-Chinese jokes? Like, do you think he consciously carved out, like, I'm gonna be the anti-Chinese guy? Or
Well, I think there's some truth in what he's like. He genuinely is annoyed with people who speak.
Well,
Asian
that's what I'm
languages.
asking you. Like, do you think he's really riffing on a heartfelt, like he just hates Chinese people that much? Or
I don't think it's that much, but it's like there's some truth and he exaggerates it.
Mhm.
That's my feeling.
so it's not like
So that, and then there was him reviewing or talking about a comedian, Chris
He talks
Gethard's-
about certain kinds of comedians and calls them the F word.
yes, in relation to gay people.
Yes. Because they're like, if your brand
he
of
calls them
stand-up-
fat.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
But that's with a P,
He,
though.
he calls them like
calls them
a pile of
faithful.
sticks.
Because comedians whose stand-up is more like heartfelt and not just joke punchline kind of thing, he doesn't like those comedians, and he
Oh.
called them the F word.
So, but
Wait,
here-
are they actual gay comedians? Or
no, it's
is
like
it
Chris
No,
Gethard and
Like
Judd
it's like
Apatow.
it's
Like it's a
synonym
sissy.
for pussy.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
So
This whole time I thought he was referring to gay. I didn't actually delve
No,
into what
no.
he said.
now here's the thing. I feel like if this was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it'd be one thing. Like, look,
It'd still be
we-
shitty.
It'd be lame.
You
yeah.
mean what you're wait, just to clarify, you're saying if we had unearthed something from 20 years ago,
Yeah.
not if the scandal broke 20 years.
Correct.
Like if we found him saying this 20 years
20.
ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Because also, even like our show, we have said,
Oh, horrendous.
like, it's so hard to listen back.
So embarrassing.
I like at least we were saying it as dumb characters, like we
Yeah,
as ourselves weren't saying it, but that's barely a distinction.
I would
feel.
put on our show like anything we've said. Like, I feel like anything we've said that I regret now is mostly not from intent, but just maybe phrasing things the wrong way,
Sure.
and using bad terminology and bad like pronouns.
And also,
and
we're
stuff.
not up for network TV jobs.
Yeah.
yet. Not with
Oh,
that
yeah.
attitude.
Well, also
Damn it,
like
Sid, speak for
I mean,
yourself.
but all of this stuff that we're talking about was in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and so this and SNL had like they're like a fucking they think they're hot shit. So it's like why would they associate with such some of this humor? Because then also an audio clip came out of him on Louis J. Gomez's podcast.
The real ass podcast.
And,
Great name.
And the quote unquote joke is him just saying the C word over and over again. Like there's no joke. It's just him saying racist terminology.
High level comedy. I think it's just we don't get it because we're not smart enough.
So then he issued an apology.
Sid, triggered much?
Oh. It's really a non-apology. It's one of those, well, if you're offended, I guess I'm sorry if you're actually offended.
Sorry if you don't get it.
Yeah. But I push boundaries.
Yeah, so let me get
Fuck off.
let me get the exact
Lazy sack
wording.
of shit.
I'm a comedian who pushes boundaries.
Yeah.
I sometimes miss.
He pushed them so far that they went all the way to my second grade bus when I was
Yeah.
8 years old. That's very innovative comedy.
Yeah, exactly. I sometimes
He didn't say whether it was the boundary forward or backwards. He just
Right.
said a boundary.
He's pushing
fair.
them back to just
Yeah.
cursing at Asian people.
I like the I sometimes miss. This is him admitting fault. I sometimes miss.
Not with the C word jokes, though. Those were.
If you go through my 10 years of comedy, most of it bad, you're going to find a lot of bad misses. Now, this isn't even 10 years. This
Yeah, we
is
just
1
1
year.
year. We didn't have to go that far back. Also, let's say the fact that it was a year ago and it was on video on his show, like SNL. How did you miss that in your vetting process?
Yeah, I feel like someone definitely got fired at SNL.
Well, yeah, him.
No, besides him.
Yeah, I would
Besides
hope
him.
so. Like, because how
How do you miss
slip
this?
by?
I agree. I'm happy to apologize to anyone who's actually offended by anything I've said, which is the most condescending thing I've
Is
ever heard.
actually offended, implying no one is actually offended.
And
It's
is
just
he
SJWs.
really happy to do it?
No.
I don't think so.
It's a crock of shit.
My intention is never to hurt anyone, but I am trying to be the best comedian I can, and sometimes that requires risks. This last thing just annoys me so much. It's not risky to just say, hateful word, hateful word, hateful word.
Could I ask? It wasn't his intention to hurt anyone when he called Chris Gethard the F word? Like, I feel like it was probably his intention to hurt Chris Gethard, at least.
No, I mean,
Right? No?
well, maybe if I could play devil's advocate, that wasn't for Chris. It's like when you're shit talking celebrities with your friends. He doesn't
But
assume they're going to
they live in the same city. They're in the same scene. They have people that
They're
they
not
know
doing the
in
same
common.
I mean, we should talk metal bands, and I have to run into them.
But you're
so.
not. Because, like, the thing I've been hearing a lot this week,
the
like,
same
comedians,
thing.
like, we have to stand up for each other. We can't let this kind of stuff happen. We have to close ranks. It's a brotherhood. Well, who was standing up for Chris Gethard when this piece of shit was slurring him for no reason? Like, that's okay, but this isn't okay. Like,
And why do you have to close ranks either? Wouldn't it be more productive and helpful to that community to weed out these fucking scumbags?
One would think.
Yeah. but
It's
they're
the
not
same
doing
thing
that.
with, like, bad cops. And they still have to close ranks and protect even the fucking dirty murderers for some reason. And it just makes them all look worse.
Right. Totally.
So it's weird. Like I've read some takes, and it seems like every comedian giving a take didn't actually even see the foot.
They just have their stock, like,
it just seems
response
so
to this
cut
kind of
and
thing.
dry when you actually take 10 seconds to like see or read the actual words that are causing the offense, because all of these things are like, oh, when is it going to end, this cancel culture? Like, when is it going to, like, here.
When you stop being a miserable fucking racist shithead, that's when it's going to stop.
Yeah.
Like, and also it's just like, why are you holding something someone said from 15 years ago? It's like, well, you clearly didn't pay attention.
That's
if you're
that was
saying
Bill
this.
Burr and Jim Jeffries were on the David Spade show, and they're like, oh, if I went back 15 years in your history, it was 1 year ago. It wasn't 15 fucking years. It was a year ago.
Another defense of people who are like, on the other side, contrarians, let's say, is they're showing these 40-year-old SNL, like they're showing the Samurai sketch
whatever,
and the like the Japanese game show Mike Myers sketch from 30 years ago.
Right.
The one thing I will say is like maybe those shouldn't be on the website anymore. Sure, that's
I don't
a valid.
think. Can I stop you for a second? Like, I don't think. I think the thing about the Michael Myers sketch is, it's just because he's doing Asian face. But I think that's a very funny sketch. Like, it's not.
And he's not saying a slur in it.
And they're not demeaning.
Right,
Asian
but he's
people
doing
in it.
the Asian face. I think is the. But it's a different time.
Yeah,
right. That's and
the
that's not-
the Jim Belushi, John Belushi sketch. I don't think. I mean, I'm not Asian, so I can't speak for them. But it doesn't come off offensive at all. Like,
it's a stereotype. Like, I get, but I think that one's a little. I could see that why that's
more
worse
absurd
than the Mike Myers one. The Mike Myers one is parodying a very specific thing, like Japanese game shows that are wacky, and they just kind of heightened it to the next level. But I'll give you another perfect example of this. So do you know the Weird Al song "Living with a Hernia"?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a James Brown parody, and he does the video dressed as James Brown, basically in blackface. But he went to James Brown and he got permission, and he said, "I want to do." And James Brown was like, "Go ahead, do it. That's great." Is that still wrong, even if you got the impression?
Yes.
The permission from.
Yes.
James? Yeah, I agree with you, but I mean, I can understand why that's looked on less negatively.
But also, like blackface wasn't just like cut and dry wrong, declared wrong until relatively recent. Like,
but like he's not putting on blackface in order to demean black people. Like, he's imitating a very specific
right. Well, there was
person.
actually there's an SNL bit from the early 2000s where Jimmy Fallon is doing a Chris Rock impression. And he has blackface on because he, to look like Chris Rock. It wasn't exaggerated. It was trying to be more accurate, so to speak.
And I'm not speaking to whether that's right or wrong or acceptable. I am saying is I think that's not even close to being on the same level as going on a show and saying the C word.
Right, because the intent is not to be racist with that. Like the act.
Right.
The act has been.
There's a
deemed
difference
racist.
between being tone deaf and blatantly saying racist things.
Right.
There's a difference.
That's the thing.
That's
There was
it.
no. That's ultimately the thing. There was no comedy here. It's him saying, like,
I mean, it's funny if you're a racist. Then it's like, sure, yeah, that's hilarious.
It's also not even the word.
I'm trying to like kind of view it from like an empathetic point of view. And like, well, what are these people so up in our like what is the maybe it's like absurdist, like the absurdity of like how racist it is, but
I could
it's
see
not
that
even that.
actually even working. Like Gilbert Gottfried pulls that off a lot of the time,
But
But
he's
I don't.
actually funny.
I think
He's
that's
funny, right.
that's what it is. I feel like if you're going to be like for
but
racist-
also, to be fair, he did lose his Geico job, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, Aflac job.
It was about
because of-
9/11 though.
It was
I
a
think,
9/11.
right?
Was it 9/11 or was it like
jokes.
the tsunami?
Oh yeah, it was a tsunami.
Was
He
it?
made a
Yeah,
tsunami
yeah.
joke.
I
Yeah,
forget.
that was it.
He got in
So
trouble.
he had his consequences that he had to deal
But
with.
he lost something for 9/11 jokes too. I'm just
Probably.
I'm mixing them up.
I feel like with racist humor, for it to be funny, and it's a very fine line. It has to be the joke you're saying has to be so absurd that you can't possibly think that the person saying it like really means it.
Yeah.
When it's like a plausible thing that can actually happen, that's just racist. It's not funny.
Right.
Like that's the fine line. I feel.
It comes off as that's this guy's actual. That's why what we said in the beginning, where is he just carving out a niche to be the Asian guy, or does he really feel this stuff? And when you do stuff like that, it just comes off to the audience like, oh, this guy just really doesn't like Asian people,
Yeah.
and he's preaching to me now.
Yeah.
So it ceases to be comedy.
And it's also like his responsibility that if he knows he's gonna go for like an SNL audition, if that's like his goal, even if it's a year ago, he should know better than to put this stuff out there.
Agreed. But it comes back to the same thing. Like this is one example of it, but it's like punching down. Jokes about trans people. Jokes about Chinese people. Jokes about millennials. Oh, millennials and SJW. You triggered much? It's all the same shit. It's like all you're doing is standing on a stage and whining about things you don't fucking like that have less standing and status in society than you do. You're a rich. Well, this guy's not a millionaire, but he may be now that he's on SNL. But like,
He's not.
Oh, right. Is that official? I don't know.
He's fired.
I didn't see that part of it. But Dave Chappelle, you know what I mean? Like, these are people that have less power and like status in society than you, and you're just standing on a stage, giving seemingly your heartfelt opinion of why they suck. So that's not comedy.
And also, to me, they always get the story wrong when they're complaining about cancel culture. Like with the Dave Chappelle example, we haven't really talked much about it. Special, we don't have to get into it too much. The newer one, he has a bit about how cancel culture and how, if you said anything 15 years ago, I'm never going to let you live it down. You're going to ruin your career, blah, blah. And he makes this like exaggerated impression of somebody like, whatever. And then he goes into a bit about Kevin Hart and how unfair it was that he was kicked off of the Oscars.
Should have been kicked off for not being funny.
But the way he describes it was completely wrong. That like, he had a few tweets a few years ago and he wouldn't apologize for it, and then he got kicked off the Oscars, and then and it's like, well, no, that's not what happened at all, And I always feel, and this is where I have to take a step back and be like, well, this isn't a factual show. This is a comedy show, and
that
the
doesn't
joke.
work.
Well, but here's the thing. It's like ultimately the story is in service of telling a joke. So the truth doesn't matter to Dave Chappelle.
Right, but that's a terrible way of constructing a comedy show because the entire humor in that joke comes from the fact that Kevin Hart in real life was kicked off the Oscars, and something about that he finds either shitty or ironic or whatever. And so to relate that falsely is being like an unreliable narrator.
Right, because also the way he made it sound was like he said the F word a few times, but it was actually literally
The gay F word.
Yeah, the gay F word, literally thousands of times, And on top of that, he had a bit about how he said that if he ever found out his son was gay, that he would smash his dollhouse over his head, over the kid's head.
So that's real. That's like a real sentiment of his that he's just heightening to make a joke out of it. That's not like, no, I actually love gay people. I just want make jokes.
I'm just
that
uncomfortable
they're
with my
gross.
son, being gay. That's what he would say.
But that's
That's
terrible.
bullshit.
still.
Right, of course.
Even if
And
it's
also,
true.
Also, the thing about the joke is like, well, why did you buy him the fucking dollhouse? Like, the kid can't buy his own dollhouse. Like, if you're gonna smash it over his head.
And
Anyway.
why is a dollhouse associated with
And the
being
thing is,
gay?
he started removing the tweets himself because his sponsors were like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're paying you all this money to be a representative of us, and this is lame. Anyway, that was my soapbox rant. But that's all. I feel like sometimes I'm like we're in two different universes. The people that are defending these comedians, like, are you actually seeing? Did you actually see the thing that they said that people are up in arms about? Because it snowballs into like something bigger than what it is.
And on top of that, like, they react as if they're being marginalized in some way, and yet they have fucking special after special, not only saying the same exact thing, but the same fucking hack jokes over and over again, making millions of dollars off of it. So how are they being canceled? Yeah.
It reminds me of, like, I said this in the Discord yesterday, like the coal miners in West Virginia. It's like, your job does not need to exist anymore. It's completely obsolete. You don't want to learn a new skill, so you just complain to politicians that, no, you've got to make it so I could keep doing this job and making money off of it, even though it does not need to exist anymore, just for me. And it's these comedians that are fucking dinosaurs that don't want to adapt to modern society. They're like, no, it's not fair that I can't do the same jokes that I was able to do 20 years ago. I shouldn't have to learn a new way to be funny.
Bullshit.
It's like, no, adapt, or there's hundreds of other people willing to take your spot who can be funny today and not be problematic. It's fine. We don't need you.
And there's so many things you can make fun of too. It's not like why do you have to? You said your trans piece. Like, why do we need 3 specials with the same jokes in it?
Literally the exact same jokes. Like, he says the same things in 2 of the specials. It's absurd.
It's just lazy.
It is. I think ultimately that's what it is. It's very lazy. It's an easy laugh too, because there's so much misunderstanding about it that people are quick to react cheaply to it.
I have acquired the Bob Backlund photo,
Ooh.
and it's in the chat. You
Okay,
can all
check.
see it. We'll post that on our episode description, so you can compare Jamie Josta's face with the face
Oh.
of Bob Backlund, great former WWE Hall of Famer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And former champion.
It's just basically Howdy Doody before and after a trip to Men's Warehouse. That's all. But it's the same dummy in both pictures. It's a different outfit.
You call it a dummy.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well,
when are we getting Sean on the air to give the insiders SNL perspective on all of this?
Oh,
He's
I thought-
probably really bummed that
I
Shane
thought you-
Gillis got fired.
I thought you were going to say to get a third person who looks like
Yeah,
Howdy
me
Doody.
too, like Jamie Johnson. That's where I thought it was going too, as I'm looking
my
at these
God.
photos.
Oh my God!
It's like a gingery version
Seriously.
Does he have any inside info just by working there?
of them.
He was the one in charge of the
Probably.
vetting, but he had to go to Riot Fest instead. So he.
Oh my
bailed
God,
on
Sean
it.
is so annoying. He never posts anything on Instagram, and now he did like one picture for like every band he saw at Riot Fest, and like my whole feed is just his stupid fucking face.
it's like
at
don't you
Riot
know about a
Fest.
carousel? Like, you could post 10 pictures at once now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't have Instagram, but I saw this on Facebook, and there's like the same thing, and it's like none of these photos could indicate that he's at Riot Fest. It's just him mugging for the camera.
Right,
really?
it's just his stupid face.
I haven't seen.
Yeah.
What
But
bands did he see?
bunch
Did
of
he see
other people.
Bikini Kill?
Kitty.
Wow.
I don't know.
Bikini Kill is like the-
Jawbreaker was one of them.
okay, sure.
Jawbreaker doing the damn thing. It's like
Oh.
him and his like Seanisms,
And Guar.
He's charming. Come on.
I
There's a
guess.
certain charm to it.
How long
It's
has
his
it been since
annoyingness.
we've seen him? I don't know if he's still charming.
Over a year.
He might have lost the charm.
I've given up on Sean.
Mm.
I always try to hang out or like catch up with him. I mean, like I could text him right now and we'll go back and forth and he'll seem very hopeful. Like, oh, I think Sean's gonna come this time, and then he just
beg your
ditches us. Darren.
Why you gotta bring up old shit? when she said Sean Isms, I almost made a Sean Jisms joke, but I didn't.
Oh.
Because I'm too good, Noah. I would never do that to you.
And then she did it subconsciously anyway. He's
Wait,
gonna
what?
come this time.
No, Sid didn't do it because he knows it's going to come back to haunt him when he's looking for a new job.
Come back.
Oh, you're saying Sid's gonna go work at SNL?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Might be a dream
This
job.
is see, I've made that transaction in my mind long ago. That I don't have any aspirations to have a better job, and then I could go on here and say whatever the fuck I want, and not be afraid, because I'm fine
Yeah.
where I am. I'm not going to be a crybaby about it later. Like I said to Rob yesterday, it's like these are the same people when they see like people with crazy haircuts or tattoos. They're like, "How are you ever going to get a job with a face tattoo?" Well, being a racist on a fucking video podcast is the comedy equivalent of a face tattoo. How are you ever going to get on network TV if you say the C word on a podcast?
Right.
And here you go. That's it. Don't need to cry about it. It's just the marketplace having its say.
Just to clarify, the C word is the one that rhymes with stink.
Yes.
Just so you. Because there were some news outlets. The first news outlet I saw, it would just be like C dash dash dash.
It was
so I
too
thought it
many
was
dashes,
like I was
yeah.
like,
Cunts.
wait, I was like cunts. Like it was like what did he say? Like they didn't make it clear enough that it was like a derogatory term towards Asian people. So it was like another 3/4 of the way down the article that I put it together.
He just really doesn't like certs, the breath mint.
Do they still sell that? I don't see ads for certs anymore. They used to advertise a lot.
Kind of an old boomer thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was Sensum Blue.
Do you remember AIDS?
Yes.
The diet candy.
No.
Yes.
No, I don't.
From the early 80s, there was a candy called AIDS, AIDS. And it was like there were all these ads all over the place. And they were on TV all the
Almost
time.
like contract
It
AIDS.
was like, lose weight with new AIDS. It was like little chocolate bars.
No.
But here's the thing about it. Like they, that was maybe 79, 80. And then AIDS kind of, the disease blew up around like 82, 83.
Mhm.
And they refused to change the name. Like the guy went broke because he is
Mr. AIDS?
No, I was here first. We're still gonna it's still gonna be called AIDS. It was still, I'm telling you, I was probably in 4th grade or something, 3rd grade. And AIDS was all over the news and stuff, and you would go to the supermarket counter and there would be the candy there and there was AIDS like right there on the counter. And the kids would make fun of it like, you're eating AIDS, whatever.
Yeah, like exactly. Like what kid would buy that? Such dumb marketing.
Well,
It wasn't
for
towards
kids.
kids,
Yeah.
right?
It was
But
for
it's
weight loss.
but the kids were the ones mocking it. Though.
Yeah.
Because they were ahead of their time. They knew better.
Your mom has AIDS.
Your mom's eating AIDS, loser. The commercials are really funny. Like they just show a woman. She's like, they get really skinny women too. It's like, I lost 23 pounds on the new AIDS plan.
Jesus Christ.
So like, oh my god, how did you let that air?
At least rebrand have like a
I tried
different
fad diets,
pronunciation.
powders, pills. Still, my weight's been up and down like a yo-yo. Until the AIDS plan taught me how to take off weight and help keep it off.
AIDS may taste like a candy, but AIDS contains one of the most effective appetite suppressants you can buy. And there's no stimulant in AIDS that could make you nervous.
Oh,
With
well.
AIDS, I ate less, so the weight came off. To help keep it off when I sometimes want things loaded with calories, AIDS helps put me in control.
Let the AIDS plan teach you how to take off weight and help keep it off. Try peanut butter AIDS.
And I'm not gaining weight. I'm losing weight deliciously with the aid of AIDS. The AIDS diet plan really works.
AIDS candy contains a safe and effective appetite suppressant when used as directed. Helps curb your appetite so you can lose weight. And AIDS candy has no stimulant that could make you nervous.
The plan lets you enjoy 2 AIDS before each meal. Delicious chocolate flavor. And I
Double
love
up on the
being
AIDS.
a size 10 again.
Lose weight deliciously with the aid of AIDS.
I was overweight and
Oh, this is
embarrassed
another
to go
one?
any place. AIDS helped me get back into a size 12.
The AIDS diet plan helped me get back into a size 6.
AIDS helps control your appetite so you lose weight. Yet AIDS lets you taste, chew, and enjoy. And the appetite suppressant in AIDS is not a stimulant.
AIDS helped me lose the weight and has nothing in it that could make me nervous.
Question, why take diet pills when you can enjoy AIDS? AIDS helps you lose weight safely and effectively. Use only as directed.
Up and down like a yo-yo.
This is like the same one now.
Yeah.
It's amazing that there was a time period where the worst thing people were afraid of is like, will this make me nervous?
Yeah.
It's like now you'll get suicidal thoughts. You'll stab your roommate in the face.
Yeah, there's you're right, exactly. There's
Your
not
dick
2
will
minutes
fall
of disclaimers and
Your whole body covered in rash.
I've
diarrhea.
I've read that that those disclaimers are like all those things are incredibly unlikely. Like
Yeah.
if they even see one person get that, they have to do that or they'll get sued.
Yeah.
Like
also, it's just like whatever those ingredients. It's like, oh, this ingredient is known to.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to defend pharmaceutical companies in any
Right,
way.
but I'm with it. I think that you should have that there to kind of explain like the because I feel like we have such an overprescribed country right now.
I really feel like they shouldn't be allowed to advertise in the first place.
Or they shouldn't be able to sell it. Like if it's
Yeah.
any kind of valid medicine that helps anybody, it should not be for sale. I mean, it should be publicly funded and distributed.
Yeah.
But it's another story. Vote for Bernie.
Well, speaking of elected officials, our president, your president, Sid.
Why me?
President Donald J. Trump.
I think you hate him the most. I think you're
Number
at
45.
100 and I'm at like 97.
Really?
because I think he makes here's where I like Trump, and this is the one time
That's
I like
a drop.
Trump. I like Trump when he makes fun of other terrible people. Like when he turns his guns on somebody actually shitty.
Here's I look at it as
I go-
Trump is the ultimate heel, and sometimes the heel says something
Yes.
that causes you to cheer.
It's a broken clock.
Yes, I will never deny that he's a malformed, gelatinous, 80 IQ imbecile who is a warmonger and should be in the Hague for war crimes. But I just like when he makes fun of Marco Rubio and Hillary Clinton. I can't help it.
And so I guess he was giving the Presidential Medal of Honor. He finally
Honor
found
or freedom.
Oh,
what's the difference?
I don't know.
Freedom!
Oh, the Medal of Freedom. You're right. The Medal of Honor is a different one.
He probably pronounces it Honor, so they changed the name.
Well, I think he had a hard time finding someone to be willing to accept this because I remember Obama would have this ceremony every year with like five
He's done
people.
it a couple times this year, Trump.
Oh, he has?
He did
Okay.
one with like an old Boston Celtics player like a few weeks ago. I think Bob Cousy.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
So
I
it
didn't know
seems
he
like
was
I
still
think
alive.
I must be thinking of something. I'm thinking of the Kennedy Institute honors.
Kennedy
with,
Center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did Trump make a rule that we're only going to honor like sports figures
It
now?
seems like it.
Well, it seems like those are the only people that are willing to come
I
and
think
accept
those
it.
are the ones he's excited about meeting and hanging out with. So those are the ones that get invited.
Or that want to go. I'm sure maybe there's plenty of people
All
that
the
are.
concussed ones, though.
Anyway, so
Do you think when Mariano Rivera showed up, he thought that he was like an illegal immigrant and wanted to like have him kicked out?
No,
of
he's
the
one
house?
of the good ones.
Oh, he's one
Yeah.
of the good ones. Okay, I thought he would be like cowering under the desk because a brown person walked in.
Well, so Mariano Rivera was known as the Sandman because he was a closer. What's a closer?
He's the guy that comes in at the end of the game,
The pitcher,
and,
right?
when you have a lead and prevents the other team from catching
It's a
up.
fresh pitcher, so his arm is like better than the pitcher that was there the whole game. Or
Right, but the closer specifically is the last guy.
Ninth inning.
What do they call him? The Sandman.
Well, they never actually called him that. It was just they played that song when he was.
So they would play
Enter
Enter
Sandman.
Sandman.
No one called him the Sandman.
Oh, okay.
And the best part about it is, so I feel like when these happen, like the president introduces the person and then they enter, but because Trump is so self-centered, he entered with Mariano Rivera. So it looks like Trump is coming in to enter
He's
Sandman.
such a dick.
And
I know it's stating the obvious, but he's such a dick.
Yeah.
I'm here too.
Well, yeah. So let me get this clip going. I mean, you're not going to see him enter to the music playing, but just the intro. Like, let's listen to this intro. It's insane.
Gentlemen,
I'm here.
the 45th
I'm here.
President of the United States, accompanied by number 42.
Shut up. That pause it. That is the announcer of the Yankee Stadium. The guy
Long
passed
since
away.
dead, yeah.
Yeah, he died like 10 years ago or something. But
They use his voice.
Well, they used his voice for this thing, but like when Derek Jeter was playing, like he had them record that guy's fucking stupid voice for him to come up to the plate still after he was dead to announce him for like the last 2 years or something. Number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
Number 42.
And so then they come out, and it's just
Are they holding hands?
well, like he does try to grab his hand to raise it.
I just
Trump
imagine it like coming out like at a wedding.
Oh, in
Yeah.
pairs, you mean?
Yeah. That's what
It does really look like that because they're walking.
They're walking
like
People
side
have
by
their
side.
cameras out.
Yeah, everyone has their cameras out. This is a big moment.
And then is the hoopah at the aisle?
Did you say hoopa or fupa?
Hoopah.
Okay.
Trump
Well,
definitely
there's a
has
fupa, yeah. Trump is
Yeah.
up there.
Trump
so-
We're seeing him in that tennis photo in that diaper. There's definitely
Yes.
some fupa there.
Trump is thick.
People are talking about fupas.
Fat,
True.
ugly president area.
Yeah.
So let's hear some of this.
I'm glad this song is getting some airplay. It's just such an unrecognized gem.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. The Sandman. My wife asked me, why the Sandman? Just tell me.
Can I just
Our
point out
First
for a
Lady.
second? So he walks out with this person who's receiving this honor, right? Okay, music
Yeah.
plays, blah, blah, blah. Everyone applauds. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you very
it's
much.
for me.
This is for me. Thank you. Now we'll get to the other person.
He doesn't even call him by his name. You say that nobody calls him the
The
Sandman.
Sand.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's inaccurate is the point.
I said, because he put the batter to sleep, right? The Sandman. A lot of people don't know that, but...
See, you don't know that,
Yankee fans
Darren.
know
It's not true.
I've watched it for a long time, and thank you all for
A
coming.
lot of people don't know
The
this
First
thing that
Lady
isn't
and I are
true.
delighted to welcome you to the White House. Today we present our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, to American baseball legend,
I love it.
maybe the greatest pitcher of all time.
I love hearing his speech patterns when he's reading because the sentences
He can't read?
are
Yeah.
all wrong. Like he has weird pauses
Is William
where
Shatner?
the line breaks.
I can only see 2 words at a time on the page. Gotta look up people. People are saying. A lot of people don't know. You have to look up.
There's a big argument, is he the greatest pitcher or the greatest reliever? Well, the reliever
That's not an
we
argument.
won.
Nobody says he's the
Nobody
greatest.
says
But it's a
that.
real question. He may
I'm
be the
saying it.
greatest pitcher in the history of baseball,
No.
Mariano Rivera. When you hear the stats, you'll understand exactly why I say
No.
Look it up. People are saying it. Many
He
people
had
agree with me.
8.4 million strikeouts. People. Amazing.
that. Mariano, I want to congratulate you
Mariana.
on this really
Mariana,
extraordinary
Melania's
Thank
sister's
you.
here.
It's,
And Mariano, I love your sauce. It goes great on pasta. It's delicious. It's wonderful. It's terrific.
Your trench is fantastic. The Mariano trench.
Now, do you think that Mariana is happy to be there to
Yeah,
receive?
he is happy.
He's smiling like
Yeah.
shit-eating
He's
grin.
like super Jesus-y, so he probably
Yeah.
You think he's a
voted
Trump
for
guy?
Trump if he.
Mariano, you were great on the Howard Stern show. Loved your voice.
Mariana
Fantastic.
from Brooklyn.
Mariano
Wonderful.
from Brooklyn.
Terrific
Rivera.
guest.
Excellent. Whack pack. Gotta love it.
Let's hear a little more.
Thank you very much for the great job you've done.
Woo! Who stands there with these things?
We're delighted to be joined by our Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen. Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you, Mike.
She came on to me.
Are we going to talk about
Along
Mike
with
Pence getting bit
many
by a
of
horse?
The members of our
What?
No.
very distinguished and
You just
hardworking
did.
and very, very successful cabinet. Thank you all for being here.
All right. Well, I want to play a few other Trump clips, if you don't mind.
Do you have the audio of Mike Pence getting bitten by a horse?
No, I
God
don't.
damn.
What happened?
He got
So-
bit by a horse.
The
And
end.
he said it hurt so
What was
much
he-
he almost passed out. It was like one of them Kentucky Derby
I'm hearing-
horses.
What a pussy.
So I don't know. We haven't talked about this vape controversy.
Wait, I
But,
thought you were going to play him getting bit by a horse.
Yeah, what the fuck, Rob?
Wasn't there a real clip of Trump calling him Mike Pounce?
What? I didn't see that.
I read it. I didn't see the actual
That's
clip.
Trump's cat's name.
So they're thinking about banning flavored e-cigarettes because 5 people died
Yes.
from these bootleg.
Terrible.
Now, look
Terrible.
here. I hate to say this.
Okay.
I hate to
You
give
hate
the
this
Trump.
cigarette cancel culture?
I hate to give the Trump administration any credit whatsoever.
Triggered much.
But I do think that the vape industry there's like zero regulation.
Agreed.
And it's like there really should be some regulation.
I would agree.
I don't think we need to go to like ban it, but like there needs to be some because anybody could make these vape juices.
Agree.
And it is leading to these problems.
Well, can I say I agree with you in principle?
Yes.
I think that I don't think this is a principled legislation. I think
Right.
This is
I don't think they're coming to it from this altruistic point of view.
I think it's because one or two of one of the big cigarette companies bought Juul, and
which is the biggest vape tool.
And these regulations are intended to like box out all the other companies.
Right, because there's a lot of these smaller companies, like mom and pop companies, because you can literally make vape juice in your kitchen.
Speaking of which, this is a good time to remind listeners, starting next month, $40 a month on Patreon, you get the Livecast flavored vape sauce.
Oh, nice.
It's delicious.
But only Juul.
It tastes like
Juul.
Noah's ghee sweat. It's going to be fantastic.
It's actually literally her ghee sweat.
And it will instantly kill you. It's only one $40 payment, and then you're dead. So it's fine.
Isn't ghee like a type of food too? So you can put your ghee sweat on ghee and eat it, and you can have ghee.
So Trump had this.
So I'm sorry,
Sorry.
but like I feel that it's just Trump giving a big hand job to like a specific corporation.
100%, 100%. I agree with that.
Which is similar to the thing that we went through with online poker, because Sheldon Adelson owns all these fucking casinos and shit, and he was the one like greasing politicians to pass all this in like 2011 or whatever. All these anti-online gaming things. And all it was so that casinos can jump in and do online gaming, which they're finally doing now. So it got all the websites out of business, or out of the U.S. anyway. It's the same shit.
How is that guy still alive? He's like 900 years old.
The blood of children.
Yeah.
Don't be using anti-Semitic tropes, Darren.
You're right.
You're never going to get hired on SNL this way.
Right. I'm so ashamed.
Going to be the first. You were going to be the first Jew hired on SNL, and now it's ruined.
I'm Jewish. That's our trope. We're allowed to use it for other Jews.
So he was having this press conference, and I love Trump word salad. I mean, look, it's very hard for me to say that I love anything about the Trump administration because there's so much terrible and like so much anxiety it causes me.
You can listen. We're in Hell World.
Yeah.
We're allowed to enjoy certain aspects of Hell World.
So here is him talking about the dangers of
I'm
vaping.
hearing it, and that's how the First Lady got involved.
She's smoking a Juul.
Got a son together that is a beautiful young man, and she.
Let me go back a little bit.
She's got a son.
She's got a son.
She's got a son.
Wait, is he
and I'm
talking about
hearing it, and
Baron?
that's
Yes. She only has one son.
She doesn't have a son from previous.
No. So there's only one
So
son.
it's his son too.
Yeah, but it's her son.
Can't recall his name at the moment.
Yeah. He doesn't care if Baron vapes.
Here we go.
How the First Lady got involved. And she a very short period
We
of time.
finally stopped him
But
from
we-
running headfirst into walls.
There's income for our country and jobs. Vaping has become a very big business, as I understand it, like a giant business in a very short period of time. But we can't allow people to get sick, and we can't have our youth be so affected. And I'm hearing it, and that's how the First Lady got involved. And she's got a son together that is a...
Like he immediately
Together.
realized his fuck up.
It's like,
He's
oh,
got a
wait,
son
I think
together.
I'm
Oh, I
involved in
got
the
one
kid.
too.
She popped one out a few years ago.
Is Baron vaping? Did they catch him in the West Wing?
Well, she's worried that he might start.
We're also going to be banning Penthouse magazines. We found those under Baron's bed. Baron, your faults.
Together that is a beautiful young man, and she feels very, very strongly about it. She's seen it. We're both reading it.
You know you're
The
not.
look on her face is like, you motherfucker. Like she's like, what did you do?
A lot of people are reading it.
A lot of
but
people are
are
reading it.
dying with vaping. So we're looking at it
People.
very closely. And,
I thought people
if
were
nothing
dying
else,
from
this is
reading.
People are dying from you bombing them and them being dying from bombs.
Or not passing any fucking
Or dying because
background
they
check
can't
laws.
afford health
conference
insurance.
that's
them
going to
in
let people
cages
know
and
about it,
starve
because
them.
people
Can
are
you
going to
stop
watch
that?
what we're saying. And parents are going to be a lot tougher with respect to their children. A lot of people think vaping is wonderful, it's great. It's really not wonderful.
It's really not. That was his damn mistake.
Yeah.
It's really
A
not.
lot of people think vaping is red. Yeah, it isn't.
I mean, sometimes with a cherry flavor.
That's one thing I think we can say definitely, Commissioner. It's not a wonderful thing. It's got big problems. We have to find out the extent of the problem. It's so new.
It's so new. It's been around for like at least 5 years.
If I haven't seen it, it's new to me. Just to recap, vaping, people think good, not good.
Melania,
bad.
son, good.
Looking into it, gonna get back to you. That was more like George.
Find out.
George H.W.
And I hope that parents
Not gonna do it. Not gonna vape.
You know, they have children, and the children are a certain age. I hope they're going to be able to make wise decisions, maybe based on what we're saying today. But the commissioner and Alex Azar, they're going to be coming back over the next pretty short period of time, a couple of weeks, with some very strong recommendations.
This is him just rambling, not knowing what he's talking about.
Whenever they say Juul, and Sid, you may not remember this, but when we did our old show, there was that shortcut machine, and they had all the drops from the previous show, which was a rap show.
Yes.
And it was a guy, like the guy would rap, and the first bar was always like, "Yo, we about to drop a Juul on y'all now. We about to drop a Juul on." All I can hear is that guy whenever they talk about Juul vaping.
Yes. Is he the one who started the company?
Oh my God! Imagine. What was his name? DJ Bathgate or something?
Yes.
DJ Bathgate. I'm sorry to this digression.
What a mediocre movie to name yourself after. Come on, buddy. Pick a better movie.
So we had our friend Eric, who R.I.P. He passed away. He was like kind of like, I guess you would say our Shlomo, but he was more positive. Like he was like just a real positive guy. I guess he was slow. I don't know what the actual like correct term would be. But we had him one day, like there were these, like I said, it was a shortcut machine. So there were all these files. And they were labeled like DJ.
So this shortcut machine is super old. Just to
let's tell our
and there was like, for example, only like you could only store 100 megabytes of audio, or like let's say 100 clips.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And basically, what radio shows would use that for is to play IDs, like the whole like musica.
Yeah. Or like PSAs.
Yeah, and we recorded a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And that's before
And
computers.
then the following week, we didn't have. Yeah, this
is very ancient.
This is like 2002, okay?
It actually, like computers weren't like, just the station itself was so behind the times at this point that they couldn't plug in a fucking computer into the board.
Computers were already like slow to begin with, and then and had low storage, and we were behind.
There was a computer, but it was in the production studio, not the on-air studio. Was the
No, the
shortcut machine was also in the same studio.
Wasn't it in the on-air studio?
No.
It was at first. Maybe by the time you guys got there, it was moved for some reason.
But anyway, so then we recorded all these great bumpers. We come back the next week, they all got deleted.
Well, that's the thing. There was no like regulations or rules posted about like using this stuff. It was just there, and like you figure it out.
They just replaced all our funny bits with like, yo, we about to drop a Juul on y'all.
Yeah,
now.
like these hip hop IDs.
Okay, so
But they were all the same, and it was also the guy rapping and stuff. So we got the idea, like, fuck this guy. So like we recorded Eric, our friend, just repeating what the guy said each time. Like,
and we would name it the exact same file title. So the hope would be like on the air. They would play the song like, "Hey yo, it's DJ Juul."
Yo, this is DJ Bathgate
in the house,
getting an enema and about to drop a Juul on y'all. You're listening to WBCR. Murder.
Man, I wish we had that.
We have some of it. I have some of it. It's in the process.
Man.
That was one of the days. Well, I want to play one more Trump word salad clip because this was just he's such a fucking idiot.
Job. And another great friend of mine.
It's one of those like now this, Facebook clips where they put music to it.
Right, yeah. So there's a little soundtrack, but just listen.
On CNN, and they didn't like him because he was too positive on Trump. Can you believe it?
What he's saying is among those groups,
Steve Cortez.
he has enormous support, and that's very clearly true. And he's saying that those groups
This is him, Steve Cortez
can defensively act with force if they have to, because there is no doubt that violence from the left is on the rise.
Talking about having the military in a violent confrontation with the left in this country?
No, both of you just said that the president's a habitual liar, as if that's.
So I guess he's a Hispanic dude.
Hispanic.
And so okay,
vociferously on that.
He happens to be Hispanic.
There you go.
He happens to be Hispanic, but I've never quite figured it out because he looks more like a wasp than I do.
Which is like, what the
So I
fuck
haven't
you?
figured that one out. But I'll tell you what, there is nobody that loves this country more or Hispanic more than Steve Cortez.
He definitely loves Hispanic.
Now, this is where his phrasing gets him in a little bit of trouble. Nobody loves this country more.
Doesn't get him in any
Well, you know
trouble?
what I mean. Nobody loves this country. You're right. It doesn't. But it's like what you're saying doesn't make sense. Nobody loves this country more than Steve Cortez. So he loves this country more than you love this country, President Trump.
No, he said no one loves him more. It's a tie.
Yeah, tied for first.
They're all tied.
Oh, my apologies. So no one loves this country more or Hispanics more?
No, he said Hispanic.
Singular.
Nobody that loves this country more or Hispanic.
The concept of Hispanicness.
Cortez, Steve.
Do you know Hispanic is just a bullshit made up thing? It's like the Nixon administration
Really?
just made up for the census. Like they classified people as Hispanic. It's a whole story. You should look into it.
Interesting.
There's no real good word to unite that kind of thing because there's Latino, which is just doesn't really mean anything either. It means you speak Spanish.
I see people saying Latinx now.
Latinx is a variation of Latino, which they
it's a gender neutral one.
In other words, Latino because in English it doesn't really matter, but in Spanish, Latino is a man and Latina is a woman.
So can't we just say Latin? Why do we have to still have the extra letter?
But wait. So Latino is a man or a woman, and Latina is a woman. So when you say Latino, it encompasses the women. So it's like the men are imposing their whatever, their manness on the women of the group. So they put
It's like
Latinx,
saying man-made instead of person-made. Or
Latinx is supposed to replace the whole of men and women, and Latino is for a man and Latina is for a woman.
But then why not just say Latin? Saves you a whole letter.
Because then it's taking away the Spanishness. I mean, I'm not advocating any of this. I'm giving you my interpretation of what they're saying.
Latinx is also not a Spanish.
Right. I think it's a little stupid,
it's
to be
confusing
honest
to
with
me.
you. I mean,
I think it's Big X trying to impose itself to make a profit.
I feel like I can. Am I allowed to speak on that since I have like half Hispanic heritage? Can I say that that's idiotic?
I'm going to let you speak on this. Viva la raza.
Yo. Orale.
I think
DJ
it's
Bath King.
ultimately. Well, here's the thing. Ultimately, the people I'm not the ones they're trying to appease by doing that.
No.
So I feel it's like, I don't really have it. Like,
whatever.
it's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I just think that's a dumb choice. I'm not like against them doing it.
Right.
I
think we've found there is a big fault in language that there's not enough gender neutral terms.
I think English is just a weird language to begin with.
Yeah.
Like it's hard.
Well, before we trail off, like his sentence here gets even dumber. So just one second.
How's that possible, Rob?
Five more seconds, and then we'll get.
Nobody that loves this country more or Hispanic more than Steve Cortez. Steve
Hispanic.
Thank you, Steve.
Why is your name
Nobody
Steve?
loves the Hispanics more. What do you like more, the country or the Hispanics? He says the country. I don't know. I may have to go for the Hispanics, to be honest with you. We got a lot of Hispanics.
What?
We love our Hispanics. Get out and vote.
It's just the more he says it, the more racist it sounds.
Well, listen, Hispanic people, or whatever you want to call them, voted for Trump in high numbers. I think other than white people, that was his largest demographic. I love some Trump.
It's wild.
A lot of conservative Latinos.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, there are conservative Latinos, and I feel that kind of goes in with the, religion is very big in Latinx communities. And I feel like, because I've seen, for example, Vicky Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero's widow.
Prominent
pro
mentor
wrestler.
of the Latin community.
Latinx.
Yeah.
Well, let's not jump.
What the fuck was that?
Let's not Latinx. But she had a tweet a while ago, which really was eye-opening, talking about how disgusted she was being on a plane with an illegal immigrant and how they should go back and like they're making it bad for the rest of us, and
that
how
is a big deal in Spanish speaking countries. A lot of the people have like condescending nastiness towards the poorer classes, even in the U.S. Like the ones that I came here legally, from Mexico.
yeah, I worked hard and
Right. Well, like those people don't work hard.
Yeah.
They're working hard as you and risking life and limb
Yeah.
to like not get
Right.
thrown in jail or a concentration camp. How about a little
yeah,
respect?
the stuff there, it's so hard to read. It's like it really made my stomach turn. Everything that's going on at the border, and just them dropping people off, and the father and son were picked up by a cartel half an hour later and killed that night. It
How
was
about
just like-
I will do a rare thing and kiss your ass about something you did, which was for your birthday. You did something for illegal immigrants.
Oh yeah, so on Facebook,
I don't want to use that word. That's a bad illegal immigrant.
undocumented.
It's force a habit.
Yeah, undocumented migrants. Yeah, they're fine. They're just as immigrants. But anyway, so on Facebook when your birthday's coming up, there's Facebook likes to spam all your friends that your birthday is there. They have a thing now where you could set up a fundraiser for your birthday, and I was like, oh, I should do this. What's
Very
like-
nice of you.
What was something that I care like? What's something that I can fund that?
And are you sure
needs
the
to-
money goes to that?
Yeah,
It actually goes to Cambridge.
it goes right to Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
And I wanted to also say something funny that happened. Like I donated to Rob's fundraiser.
Yeah.
And I put in $50, and I went about my business. I come back, I get a receipt in my email that says I donated $5.
What?
So I left the zero off when I typed,
Oh,
and then I
you
went to.
cheap Russia.
Well, here's the thing. So I was immediately started panicking, and I noticed. I think I noticed it's like 3 a.m. So Rob wasn't even up, and I was like, Rob's gonna think I'm a cheap piece of shit. And like, here's $5, you motherfucker.
No, see, so I set the goal initially.
It's okay. I didn't donate anything.
at
so-
I'm not on your Facebook, so I didn't even know.
Yeah,
this was
you're
a
not on
thing.
Facebook.
But
How much did you
not
end up raising?
Oh, sorry.
Well, so I initially put it at 200.
Okay.
And I got to 200 in like an hour. And I was like, oh, so I should increase it. Then I increased it to 500. Eventually, I raised like $850.
Wow.
But you don't have to keep increasing it, right? Like it still collects the
Yeah.
money even if you hit the
Yeah,
goal.
I just kind of got into it. And was just like, oh, well, I want to make it look like there's still a goal to reach as opposed to we've reached the goal, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
But then you kept all the money, right?
No,
It
I
never
don't,
comes to
I
you.
don't even see the money. Yeah,
Are
Facebook
you
just handles everything.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's like they have a whole fundraising thing.
It
on
goes
that.
through
You can
the-
set up a fundraiser at any point, at all, like ever. You just
Do they take a cut of the service?
no, they do not. They actually for the birthdays. I believe they match some of it, like up to a point.
I mean, we'll find out. Maybe a scandal will happen. and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
actually
No, but
are
it's-
diverting the funds somewhere.
They're big on that. They're big on facilitating that. So it's like a genuinely nice thing.
They're trying to save face from how
Yeah.
shitty their company
Yeah.
is.
And you can like if you're a nonprofit, like they accept any nonprofit. Like my dog rescue,
KKK?
you could set up a fundraiser for them. You just
Yeah, white
you,
supremacy
You have to
group.
just
Yeah.
register. If
Yeah.
you're a
They could.
nonprofit organization, you could register in there. I don't think KKK is allowed. It's against their hate speech.
But
policy.
they could definitely skirt that somehow, though. You know.
I
Set
think
up a
they're
shell fund.
And then make
Oh, well.
Facebook match it, and then that's the scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a legit. And I was very like I was not going in with any expectations. I was very impressed and thankful to all my friends who donated. Some of which I don't even talk to that often. But it's a great cause, and these people need legal representation, and it's very fucked up what's happening to them
Yeah.
for nothing.
The Hispanic.
Did you donate like Hellfest tickets to them? Like if it's
There's no more
They-
Hellfest.
no, I
Is that
donated money to pay for lawyers to help them.
What's the other one? The tour one?
Hellfest exists in France.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Well, that's fucked up that you want to send them to France, Rob. They want to be in America. Come on.
There's no more.
There's some
traveling
tour
metal
that's
tour.
no. Was the one that was like Black Dahlia Murder was on it or something?
Oh, Summer Slaughter.
Yeah,
About
there you go.
70,000 tons of metal.
It's like when it swings through
They don't want
Texas.
to go on a boat. That scares them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, Trump.
Mhm.
Noah Trump.
Hey.
Noah Ivanka.
Ew. Stop. You're the one who said this, the boat, not me.
Yeah, I just said, cruises are nice. You said there was no metal tour. I said that's a tour.
Mm. Well,
tours around the
Yeah.
ocean.
That's fair.
But our 70,000 tons of tour went back to Mexico.
What are you saying? Should build a wall
Right.
around the boat?
He should have picked some people up and brought them over.
That's not how that works.
The rest of Guillermo's family. Smuggle them back here.
Well, you're
We'll bring 'em to
insinuating
Nebraska.
they're A, that they're there, and
I'm
B,
sure
that
he
they...
didn't bring his entire family tree with him.
Oh,
There's
come
probably
on.
Well,
70
you might. Well,
documents.
you're also assuming they want to leave. Maybe they're very happy.
At the very least, they like to visit him.
Maybe they're, like aristocratic Mexicans.
And they look down at him for living in Nebraska.
Yes.
I'm sure they
That's
don't want to go
I
on
do.
a boat and watch Venom to go see Guillermo.
Why not?
If they're aristocratic.
Maybe he got them into Venom.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or deicide.
Maybe it was his Iho who got him into Venom.
His Iho.
And then now he gets to see him. Why not? Guillermo, let us know if you still listen.
Abuelito, how was Venom on the boat?
Yeah.
I'm just picturing this conversation.
He'd be so jealous. Oh, can you get him on the tour on the 70,000 tons next year? Get him some
I used to love cruises.
That's a different Guillermo.
I cannot go near the water. I might fall over.
Oh.
Speaking of friends of the show.
Oh, yeah, friends.
Mark B.
Oh,
Yeah,
Big friend of the show.
finally.
We've played many of his sound clips. Can you play a few just for some of our newer listeners? The man is very passionate about worthwhile causes.
Hatred does not win the wars. It fucking starts them.
Yes. A few more.
If you live in this city and you are racist, move the fuck out. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out. Catholic, Christian, African American, God knows what.
Can we get the one about meeting on the beach?
The beach?
Like,
yeah.
the full promo.
Two guys enter, one guy leaves, and I promise you, Clan motherfucker, it won't be you.
You Clan motherfucker. I love it.
You want to find out what a man is? You come at me with this.
Holding his fist up.
So.
Wait, there's also a very softer side to Mark.
Hashtag, thank you, Stanley. Hashtag, we love you, Stanley. Hashtag, R.I.P. a legend.
Did he have any takes about Eddie Money dying?
No takes.
I didn't see that.
Rick Ocasek?
Sadly, all his videos of the past month or so have been about wrestling. They're not that. Those
And,
aren't as
they're very
juicy.
specific, so there's not comedy there. Other than he absolutely doesn't know what he's talking about. So I was writing about the new Korn album, and I noticed that it sounds like on the track "The Nothing," Korn samples Mark B. Let's take a listen.
It's time, people, to wake the fuck up.
Right?
So I realize what we're really talking about, what we're really obsessing over, is worth.
Who is that talking?
It actually goes on.
I will go shoulder to shoulder with them.
It's time,
Oh, why'd
people.
you stop it?
I apologize.
This is New York City. The world comes here. I will go toe to toe with us, shoulder to shoulder.
Has Mark been fieldy this whole time and we didn't know it?
I want to make this very fucking clear to everybody. This is New York City. The world comes here.
This song sucks.
Yeah.
You want to thrash
There
it or
was, there was
trash it?
one song on the new album that I liked.
Just one? Did you hear
well,
the whole
one
thing?
specifically. I haven't heard the whole. I've heard a few tracks. I feel like after the first few albums, I kind of stopped. I mean, there's a few singles that they've put out since, but album-wise,
And let's be honest here, get a life.
That's Mark's review.
That's a review to Rob for wasting time listening to that album.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess it's your job. You have to.
But he's his own damn boss. He decides what his job is. He could assign that to someone else.
Yeah, he could.
Good point.
It's not like any of us are going to quiz you about the new chord and see if you actually listen or not.
I am. Rob, what's track 7?
He can make
I don't
anything
even
up,
know-
and I would believe
Yeah, I don't
him.
even know
You can
track
check.
7 of albums I like.
I got the internet.
This song sounds like
you bastard.
this song sounds like an old Korn song, which is
cool.
Which sounds exactly like that new Korn song
Yeah.
you just heard.
No, this-
Go to hell.
Doesn't this part sound
Go
like an
to
old
hell.
Korn part? Especially the Go to Hell.
Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell.
Do you think he enjoys going to the studio and recording these vocals?
I just feel like it's like the same lyrics all the time. The stuff in his head.
That's yeah, like I agree. Like
I am still 18 years old and I hate everything. My hair is nasty and hasn't been washed in 17 years.
See, Darren got it.
I like to whine about how little sex I'm having.
What does he think about cancel culture, Rob? Have you asked?
I hate the cancel culture.
Oh, well, he actually,
It's so silly. SJWs, are you triggered much? Why don't you stop complaining? Ah.
He actually, like, he was in the news yesterday because he gave a quote about he disavows being part of the 90s nu metal scene.
Why?
He says that scene was full of
That scene was full of... Oh, sorry.
full of misogynistic, opportunistic, dickhead jocks. The sort of people who'd be bullying me at school if they weren't supporting my band at shows.
Dickhead jocks.
It's cool that he waited 25 years. Once he milked every last dime out of those jocks, and then he distances himself.
He goes, I'm about the art.
Yeah.
We got lumped in with that stuff kind of because of the way we were dressed. We
no,
were
it's
kind
'cause
of
your shitty music.
we were kind of hip hop, but there was nothing really hip hop about Korn other than the bass lines to the extent. I didn't rap. Nu metal wasn't just rap metal though. That's the thing. Like it was about the tone that you guys had and like this.
And you all toured with each other.
Yeah, System of a
Yeah,
Down
like
is a rap.
Orgy didn't have rap, but they're a nu metal band. Edema didn't have rap, they're a nu metal band. You know, like that's nu metal evolved into what it became.
Dressed up like fucking astronauts.
In the beginning, nobody knew what we were. We'd play with No Doubt or Pennywise, and then the metal community embraced us, and we went with it because we felt like we found a home.
Okay, well then there you go. You found a home with those shitty misogynistic jocks.
But I hate thinking that some people hear the name Korn and think we're some douchebag, misogynistic, fucking macho dickhead band.
Well, just like real corn. You eat it, you forget about it, and it shows up again.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it.
Exactly.
And then it wants to distance itself from the rest of your turd, but it's like, no, you're in there.
Yep.
You're part of it, man.
Part of the shit.
Too bad.
Part of all that shit.
Yeah.
It's the kernel.
It's time, people. Wake the fuck up!
Go to hell.
Yeah.
So I realize what we're really talking about, what we really
Play that part again with the wake the fuck up, please.
time, people. Wake
Move the fuck out.
Do we want to critique the new Green Day single? There's a new Green Day single, and I heard an interview clip where Billy Joe says, I was trying to figure out how to approach this song, and then I decided, what if I sing like Prince? That'll be fun. So I want you
said
guys
that?
I want you guys to listen to this and tell me if you think he sounds like Prince.
Okay. Let me stand next to your fire.
This is him?
Yes.
No, this sounds
This
like
is him trying to sound like
something
Prince.
else. Like the White Stripes.
Or like
like
you were.
like
It's like Queens of the Stone Age, maybe.
Oh yeah.
It's not good.
This is not Green Day.
This is
now
more
I
Green
hear
Day, but it's not good.
it's like two extremes. Korn, who are not doing anything to modernize their sound, and then Green Day, who's doing
too
way
much.
too much.
Which is better? Which way is better? I don't know. I guess
I
I
would say the Korn
appreciate.
way.
I don't know. I feel like at least these guys are trying something, even if
Play
it's
that
a
again.
flop.
You don't care for me. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wouldn't be the first time Green Day ripped off another artist.
Let's dance on your fire. Oh, this is awful.
And
Very,
this is the lead single. So
This is one of the worst things we've ever played on this show, and we've played Ja Rule and Metallica.
Well, I was just thinking, like, when Green Day announced that, well, let's meet this.
The tour with Weezer
thank you.
With
Fall Out
Weezer
Boy.
and Fall Out Boy. I was like, wow, Green Day was such a big part of my life. And they're completely out of it. Like, I haven't listened to Green Day in like 10 years.
And
you
even
know,
more so for me, they were for a very long time by a mile my number one band. They were like everything. I had like 20 Green Day shirts. I went to every.
they
show.
were one of my favorite live bands at a time because they were so great to see. Like I saw them like over 3 years, like 5 or 6 times live.
It got to be a little too formulaic. Oh,
Yeah.
here's the part where they call somebody up from the audience to play guitar. Here's the part where they set a fire. Here's
Exactly.
the whoa.
Or like, whoa,
yeah.
the call and response. It was like, all right, let's go.
Which I understand when you play like 250 shows a year, like you're gonna sink into like formula and routine after a while.
Yeah,
but,
but on a different tour, do something different.
Yeah.
That was exactly. I had that exact same trajectory of like loving it to like, oh, they're not doing anything new.
That song
I don't have
sounded
to
like
see that
a fucking iPhone commercial.
It probably will be.
It
in
was
the next
probably
one.
designed to be.
Play a couple of seconds of that again. The part with the high pitched voice.
Let's go to the top. I can't believe. If you would have blindly played this and were like, name this popular
no
band,
way.
I would have never said it was.
I feel like by the time the chorus hits,
the chorus,
shot,
maybe, but
not
before
even the
that- yeah.
chorus. I still don't know that's.
I would have guessed it was like a Billy Joe Armstrong side project band because he does a lot of like weird, noodly side project bands.
Doesn't even sound like his voice though.
Yeah.
He's even sick of Green Day.
Well, that's fine if you want to do something different, but I don't know. This isn't something good to replace it.
Yeah.
Just picturing like 14-year-old kid using an iPhone to make a robot or something.
Yeah.
The new iPhone 30. Or like this is like an Urban Outfitters commercial.
Yes.
Or no, this is like the WWE pay-per-view. theme
Yes. I could totally see that.
song. Anything commercial. Clash of the Champions is brought to you by Green Day.
I mean, if this was like just an album cut, if this was like track 8 of the new album, and I just heard it like the one time I listened to the album, I'd be like, sure, fine for a bit, for like the side 2 of an album, fine. But like the lead single, and this is what you've got for me. Oof.
Are there any of the other tracks?
Not that I've seen,
not yet.
but
Uh,
I'll give it one listen.
do we want to see? They performed the song on Fallon on the
Oh
Tonight
boy,
Show.
was Fallon in blackface when they performed?
Oh my God.
Do we want to? Let's see how it.
He was cosplaying as Arsenio. It was one of those theme weeks.
He wanted to fit in like with the
Oh,
Roots.
sorry, it was on Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
He was like another
Who
Roots
has also
member.
done blackface.
Has he really?
Shaq.
Oh God, that's right.
With Fall Out Boy and Weezer next summer, here with the song Father of All, Green Day.
Are there any white people who haven't done blackface on television?
Maybe David Letterman.
He's not on TV anymore.
True. Ellen.
I don't know. I could see her. Worse.
I have a question. During that part, are they like pressing their balls into their bodies or
Well,
something?
he's not playing guitar. He has to focus all his energy on
Oh,
hitting these
really?
notes.
He's not playing guitar.
No, would you have us believe that it's in order to sing this type of music, it requires one's testicles to be mangled in some way?
Yes, either stretched or pushed in. I can't decide which one.
I think that's a valid point. You're onto something there.
He's just screaming in pain. That's all.
One more
Imagine-
thing I want to mention: when they announced this tour, Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and
Yeah,
Weezer,
yeah.
They got Ric Flair to cut a promo.
Oh,
So
stop!
I
Is
want-
it one of those things where you buy Ric Flair's time and he?
No, he actually they actually legitimately paid him.
Okay. Hey, let's get Ric
I
Flair to cut a
promised guy,
promo.
Basically spent the whole marketing budget on him, but he's awesome. He's gonna hype it.
Okay, you
yeah,
called
that'll
it.
be sweet. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, man. You hired the right guy. The Hella Mega Tour. That's what we're talking about. The Hella Mega Tour. The biggest tour in the country this year. Forget about the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
We're talking
He
Weezer.
looks like Joe Biden.
Green Day.
Teeth are falling out. His
Here's what
eyes
Get a
bleeding.
promo on Corn Pop. Do it.
I love that he says the Fallout Boy.
Green Day. And the Fallout Boy. Woo! Bright lights. Big
He's up. He
city,
went like, "Hello,
Green
Fallout
Day.
Boy.
And
You're the
yes,
Fallout
they'll
Boy."
be-
His teeth are about to
right.
get fall out.
They'll be
fuck?
just fine. Boy, girls, you know that all night long they'll be kiss stealing.
Rivers Cuomo is
2020,
trembling in
The
fear.
Hella Mega Tour.
He's waiting for a wedgie that's
Smell
never
of
going to come.
excitement's everywhere.
He cuts the promo and then they're like,
Green Day.
he's like, so can I come on the plane with you? And they're like, no, I don't think so. It's just a promo.
Actually, there will not be kiss stealing. We live in a different culture right now, Mr. Flair.
Not part of the deal. Sorry.
And we're all married and have children. So
They apparently the budget wasn't large enough to get a time machine to go back to 1983 when his promo would have been good.
I liked it.
Can we go back to 1993 when any of these bands would have been good?
That's fair.
I mean,
Yeah, totally fair.
there's
Good
multiple
point.
uses for this time machine.
I'm just shocked that Fall Out Boy is playing on top of Weezer. The
Yeah.
Green
Wait,
Day-
they're on top of Weezer while they're performing?
So they're the top, I guess.
The Weezer?
So Green Day is the headliner,
Yeah.
and then wow,
Followed by direct support, Weezer, and then the Interrupters are opening. I've never heard of them.
I've heard of them. I think
Shouldn't the Interrupters come on after somebody?
you'd think.
They interrupt your seat getting to your seat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They play in like broad daylight at 3 p.m.
So these tickets have to be so expensive because the show, this tour happens next summer.
Yeah.
Like
They're
the
playing City
new-
Field, doing baseball stadiums.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, they're playing such big venues. Let's see
sure
how
it's
much
not
tickets are.
You got a virus, Rob. It's a big exclamation point.
This is just basically a concentrated version of Warped Tour.
Rob,
It's
did-
like the top 3 bands of a Warped Tour just deciding to go off and tour together.
Rob-
Because I guess Warped Tour is over.
Yeah.
Sorry. Did your computer decide to try the new diet craze AIDS?
Oh no. This is very nervous.
Wow. So from the shittiest tickets are $70 for nosebleeds for fucking, for like the equivalent of like a $15 baseball ticket. And then the best tickets are $230. Jesus.
It's a once in a lifetime thing, Rob.
Yeah.
You gotta understand.
Hard pass.
What's $230?
VIP tickets are
something this
$450.
What does that get you?
It's like a VIP lounge.
Get a handy from Ric Flair.
Oh. I bet that's cheaper
Let's
than
see.
$450.
You get to meet the Fallout Boy. Real cool boy.
I guess floor tickets are $200.
You get to perform on top of Weezer during the show when they need a break.
It's still so weird to me that Pete Wentz is the guy who shows up for all this stuff and he's not the lead singer of the band.
Well, it's because that guy Patrick, whatever, he doesn't want
Stump.
That's the same
yeah.
thing.
Really?
As,
Yeah,
Oh.
he has like stage fright or something like that. He just
So he can't be in a 30-second promo clip standing next to 2
he
other
just
guys?
doesn't like doing it.
It's the same thing as Anthrax. You know, it's Scott Ian. It's
Right.
basically the front
Yeah,
man, but
fair.
then when they play, he stands in the back. You know.
Yeah.
But at least he's one of the few guys. Like the lead singer of Anthrax hasn't been in the band the entire time, so there's at least that excuse. With Fall Out Boy, there isn't that
I
excuse.
feel like it was that way when they had their original one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
always the mouthpiece and like
Huh.
the banter guy, you know, on
Okay.
the stage.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, it could be like Patrick Stump could be like a regular Rivers Cuomo, where you're like, why is this guy even the band representative? He's the weirdest person ever.
But that's interesting. I'd rather
Is
see
it?
the weirdest person ever.
Rivers Cuomo's just boring to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The most interesting guy in that band quit after the second album, so that's sort of explains everything that's happened to them since. R.I.P. Matt Sharp.
R.I.P. Sharp.
Yeah.
All right, we got a piece of hate mail before we wind things down. I'd like to pull that up right now.
Pull it out,
And to
Rob.
remind you that you can email us anytime. hatemail@metalinjection.net. That's the email address. And this email comes from a fellow named Tim. Tim says, "Hello, Rob, Noah, 3D, and Sid.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Longtime fan of the podcast. I've been listening essentially from the beginning. I never listen live. In fact, I'm usually a month or two behind as I try to save the podcast for when I have certain work to do. Maybe when he tries to relax. I stumbled upon these videos and thought they would be good for the show. This first one is just a really good idea and arrangement. Great for Oktoberfests." And then the video is linked. I'm just going to cover a Sweet Child of Mine.
It's going to be like klezmer or something. He lowered a little, so really blasting.
This is him?
This is just something he found.
Is that a clarinet?
Yeah. Clarinet, trombone, trumpet, saxophone.
Like polka. Oompa. They gonna sing? This doesn't go with the music. And she's good. She's just singing it as if it's a straight cover.
Yeah.
Oh, she had to change it.
Oh, lame. Coward.
That's so lame. 2019. Can't sing a love song to another woman?
Just say it was about your daughter.
Yeah, sure.
Sweet little baby.
Sweet child of mine.
Yeah.
So the second one has a trio of surprise livecast guests
What?
that show up after the halfway mark. So there's another video clip. Oh, this is a mashup.
Shlomo,
Play that
Break
fucking
Weeks, and
music.
Pizza Destroyer.
This DJ is a good mashup. DJ cover. Rammstein and
Du hast mich. Du hast mich.
Yes, I did.
Du hast mich. Du hast mich. Du hast mich gefragt. Du hast mich gefragt.
Oh, that's good.
Du hast mich gefragt und ich hab nichts gesagt.
They just had someone record that part. Very good.
Who are the live guest people that show up?
That's fun. Oh,
I feel like I'm on the set of The Deuce.
Yeah.
Deuce. Will Forte, man. Cameo better be good. Oh, it is Shlomo.
Oh yeah, by the way, Shlomo came back to life on our Facebook page this week.
To impugn the dignity of J2.
Are we able to see this whole thing?
So the rest of the email is, hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. Thanks for all the laughs. Let me try that again.
Wow.
Thanks for all the laughs on more than one occasion. I've nearly fallen off a 30-foot ladder.
Oh, God.
Laughing while painting.
Jesus
Everybody
Christ.
be real serious now, so we don't kill anyone.
Is this Banksy?
Well,
because he only does it on certain times.
or maybe he should listen in his normal life and save something else for work that's more relaxing than us.
Like Alex Jones.
What? No, don't listen to Alex Jones.
Frankie's Pomcat.
Is that still dead?
I
Frankie's
think
podcast.
so. But we're very much alive. And if and actually we're wrapping it up, so we're gonna go away for a week. Hopefully,
Well,
we won't die.
I was saying that.
Oh yeah, Shlomo was back. I'm sorry. I
Shlomo
didn't
came
mean
back
cut
to
that
life
off.
real quick before we end. I went to Jerusalem to pizza. It was delicious, and I took a bunch of photos and stuff, and everyone was very confused as to why I was so excited to be there. Went by Hapanash, another recommendation from Darren. Didn't eat there, but planning to.
So good.
And Shlomo did not approve of my visit.
Shlomo thinks J2 is overrated.
But he's wrong.
Durinsky and Nowinski.
Because he has, I mean, let's be real. Shlomo's a great guy. I'm not putting him down. He grew up in Orthodox Jewish culture. I mean, it ruins your palate.
I agree. I've always agreed with Shlomo. I think you guys you guys love J2 way more than I like. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's fine.
You're allowed to not like it as much.
I have had it.
I've never
I have
had
had
it. So I
it.
can't wait.
I've even recorded a live cast video.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
I had
How
it today.
dare you?
Actually,
How dare you? Sorry.
I had it today, actually, and it was even better than usual.
You know what? Maybe next week you could bring some to the show, and we could.
Can I just say I've had it when it's traveled and it doesn't hold up, Doug. You have to have it right out of the
fresh.
Maybe we just do the show from J2.
Sure.
Let's just go there for lunch.
We
one
should
day.
do a show,
Yeah,
maybe a
and record.
Patreon show.
And record.
At
Yeah, they'll
J-
totally
at
let us
J2.
record.
There's plenty of tables. They have outside
like
seating. We could do
yeah,
it.
we have we just
Get a
we'll just
recorder.
start talking, and they don't know what we're doing.
It'll be the most food that anyone's ever ordered there anyway, so it's fine.
And I mentioned our Patreon. You can be a patron of our Patreon if you want more Metal Injection Livecast. We do the show free every week. It's always going to be free every week. But if you want more, you can join the Patreon. Now, what do you get? $5 a month gets you a bonus episode every month, as well as weekly exclusives. First look at behind-the-scenes videos that we shoot. I'm burping up.
God.
Wow.
And polls to vote on future episode content.
boy.
Like we had a vote for what the commentary episode is going to be for our next episode.
Are we gonna say what it is?
And I mean, you could take a look at if you're a Patreon, you could see what it is. So you could join at patreon.com/Metal Injection Livecast, and we have a very special. For our super fans, if you donate $10 or more a month, you will get a shout out during this portion of the show, the conclusion of the show. Durinsky, you're a handsome man. You got the shout-outs for us, Durinsky.
Yes, I actually want to read these, if you'll indulge me, as Michael Buffer. If
Oh,
you
nice.
agree to that?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much. Eric, Benjamin, Dallas, Justin Edgerton, Lionel Allday, Robert Jesus Delgado Bagalayos Jr. and El Durino.
All right. Thank you very much to our live cast super fans. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. It's been a pleasure. And
I wanted to also say we do have a preview up of the Pantera episode. Did you mention that? I may have missed it.
we played a clip on the last show.
Right, but also it's on our social media.
Is it?
correct?
I don't think so.
It's not there.
No, it can get, we'll post
put
it
it
up this
there.
week.
Let's put it there.
Thank you for listening, but we got to say goodbye.
Knock this shit off! Move the fuck out!
Hashtag RIP a legend.